Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm JC, and today's video is going to be a little different. I wouldn't say it's a vlog per se, but it is the first stage or step in me editing my manuscript. Now, I mentioned that I started editing my manuscript on my previous vlog, but I wanted to do a separate, I don't know if I want to call it a series, but a separate set of videos just about me editing and revising this manuscript, because it's going to take a lot of work, and this is my way of holding myself accountable, because otherwise I will get shiny new idea syndrome and I will think of something else to write and start something new, as I have done about 6 or 7 times already. So this is probably the very first completed book that I have written. Now, I wrote this before the book that I published last year, the diary. That was actually my second, might have been my third book that I wrote. So I wrote this before that. I just set it aside, and then I started, I think the diary was my third book that I finished, because I started a different book called Riley's Heart after this one was finished, and then I did the diary. But this is my first ever fully completed manuscript, and I thought about scrapping it once I started doing the read through of it all over again. First, actually, let me flash back to the excitement of me printing out this book, knowing that I was getting ready to edit it. Mind you, it was August of last year. Getting ready to print out one of my manuscripts that I should have long printed out before, and I was in the habit of finishing novels and getting ready to edit them, but instead starting a new one, and then I would finish that one, and I'd get ready to go back and edit the other one, and then I'd start a new one because I had another idea, and the cycle has continued into having 6 finished manuscripts that have not been edited because I keep starting new ones. Sometimes even 2 at once. So I'm going to finally, I said if I print it out, then that would be more of a step towards actually editing one of these completed novels. So that is what I'm doing tonight, taking that step. And you guys will get to come along with me as I edit this vlog. I am very heavy dialogue. Did I mention that I like dialogue? This is heavy dialogue. There's going to be some major changes that need to be made to this. I can see that as I went through now. I'm like, oh my God, so much dialogue. It's a lot of dialogue. I love dialogue, and apparently you can tell how much I love dialogue in this book. But anyway, it's time to print it out now. We have a problem. I need more ink. Okay, so that was me. My excitement of printing out this book, even though I ran out of ink, had to print out the rest of it days after, but it got done. So now, that was August. So what are we? 6? I don't know how many months later this is. I don't do math. But we're several months past that when I printed it out. And I am just now finally getting to edit this book. Mind you, I was supposed to start editing this in January. It's neither here nor there. So I need another way to hold myself accountable, or else I will find another project to start. And then I'll step away from this again. So I decided to document it for you guys. You are going to walk with me this whole way as I edit this book and do the massive revisions that it is going to require. Now, I am not finished reading through. I'm halfway through. It has 28 chapters, and I am on chapter 16. So I am a little over halfway through. As you see, I've already started making some notes here. So I don't know if you can see any of the red, I don't know, but it's probably not as clear as I would like it to be, but there's red marks, there's things. Okay, now here's another little secret. I didn't self-edit the diary, because the diary, while it is fiction, there were some factual elements that I based the fiction around, and they were a little too personal and close to me. So my friend who was also an editor, who edited the diary, and it went through about 10 edits, probably because I didn't self-edit it, but she felt that I was too close to it to self-edit it, and I was too critical of myself to self-edit it. So she took it from the very, very rough first draft that it was, and then we fussed and fought through the 10 rounds of edits that it took to get the book to where it is as you see it. So this is actually my first, because I've made a habit out of stepping away from projects and starting new ones and not editing them. This is actually my first time self-editing. I'm used to editing other people's stuff. I'm very critical of myself, so self-editing is hard for me because, as I said, I almost wanted to scrap the entire book. But it was on the Courtney Project's live stream where Courtney and Brooke, they just gave me a suggestion. Well, they planted an idea in my head when I was discussing a certain detail about the story. And they was like, well, are we going to get multiple POVs? And as I said, this is the first novel I ever finished completely. I wasn't dabbling in multiple POVs then. It didn't even dawn on me to go back and maybe put this in multiple POVs. But now that is the direction that the revision is going to take. But I am going to implement the multiple POVs. But first I have to finish reading through the book. So it is tentatively called When Love Calls. I have a brief synopsis that I will read to you. Okay, so When Love Calls. Autumn Jennings had thought that she had finally put all of the mistakes she had made in her past behind her. Her heart had finally mended from heartbreak, and she was able to let go and let someone else love her again, with nothing hanging over her head. She never thought she would have to deal with the lies she had told so many years ago. But when an old flame that she had never truly gotten over comes back into the picture, she is reminded of all the secrets she has been trying to keep buried. Those same secrets could not only disrupt the lives of everyone around her, but the new life that she is trying to create for herself and her son. As her secrets begin to unravel, so do the lives of the people she loves. When Love Calls is a novel about a love lost, a love that heals, and a love that was meant to be, and the circumstances that can either bring two people together or tear them apart. So that is the synopsis of my book. Now, I wouldn't deem it a romance, but reading through it, I'm like, this kind of sounds a little romancy. And I've never really thought of myself as a romance writer, but it'll be whatever it is once I'm finished. So I will tell you, in the first 15 chapters, I have discovered that I am way too dialogue heavy. I think I mentioned that in the clip that you saw of right before I printed this out. I even noticed it then. I'm not going to discuss too much about, there's some conversations that seem unrealistic. Some of the reactions in the conversations seem unrealistic. You know, there's some grammar and spelling mistakes, but you know, I can correct those easily. But the developmental holes that I am seeing, well, not holes, it's just some things that could be stronger and tighter. And this is what I'm seeing so far as I have gotten through it. Definitely need a stronger chapter 1 because it starts off with a conversation and it's far too much conversation. And I have to, I love dialogue, you guys. I love it so much. I have to figure out a way to rein my dialogue in. And I think I'm a stronger writer now, obviously, than I was when this was written. I'm not going to tell my age and tell you how long ago this was written. But it was written before the diary, so that should tell you something. I'm trying to pull it up so I can tell you how many words that the novel stands at the moment. Total word count is 99,906 words. That is how many words. 174 pages. Woo, that's a lot. I can tell you that most of it probably will not make it into the revision. But, so right now I'm just doing a read through. Probably in the next video, I will have finished the read through by then. I will begin trying to delve deeper into the holes, the plot holes, the areas also where I can split up and do a different point of view. Because I didn't write this as a multiple point of view, I have to go back and try to see where the point of view shifts could be. Some scenes may need to be taken out. I'm seeing some scenes that I don't like anymore. I'm seeing some scenes that are just, they don't make sense. It's like, you know, that moment when you have like, what was I thinking when I wrote that? There is even a part in here where I go from saying because I tend to write in first person. It's just natural way to write for me. But she goes from saying I to saying she, like as a narrator. And I'm like, wait, why did I do that? The things you discover when you read over a book you haven't read over in 10 plus years. But so I wanted to have been finished the read through by the time I made this video, but as I have established before, I'm a slow reader, even of my own work. But the fact that I am halfway through and I started rereading, I started reading this last week. Actually, yes, that is kind of remarkable that I'm halfway through and I started reading this a week ago. So I should be finished by the time I do another one of these. Actually, I will be. I will be finished by the time I do another one of these editing videos. And what I want this series of videos to be is the different stages of editing that I will be going through trying to edit this book myself. I usually step away from the novel and end up forgetting about it and starting a new one. So this is going to be weird for me. I am very critical of myself. It's going to be hard for me. At several points already, I've already wanted to throw the whole thing out. But I see where I'm going to make some changes. I see where some POV shifts can happen. I've already marked one place where a POV shift can happen. I have to go back again and mark another couple of others because I had read through those already before I had the idea of shifting POVs. But there's going to be, it's probably going to end up being 3 POV. Okay, so a little more deep dive about this story. Autumn, I read the synopsis. So she has The father of her child is the one she was heartbroken over. He up and left her son. No word, no goodbye, nothing. Took her a while to get over it. Now she's engaged. She has a fiance at the start of this book. Um, his name is Cal. The father of her son's name is Javon. So we can keep all the names straight. His name is Cal, the fiance, and she's engaged to be married to him. And she loves him. But she's having doubts and cold feet, the things that happen when someone's about to get married, and especially if they're hesitant to put themselves in a situation they can get hurt, which is pretty much any kind of love. But then a former love enters the picture again, who happens to have been the best friend of the father of her son. Now they had a thing on one of, because okay, so I have to go back again. Her and her son's father, they were like the on again, off again kind of thing, high school sweethearts sort of deal. And on one of their off periods, she and his best friend had a thing. And I don't want to give away the whole story, but they had a thing that never really got realized because it got cut off abruptly, and then she went back to, to be with the father of her child. So he comes back into her life while she's engaged to Cal, and kind of rocks her world and rocks everything. He's engaged too, by the way. But when they see each other, the old feelings kind of come back, and they, rush in or whatever. So she's just a little thrown. And then there's this huge secret that involves him that she's keeping and has never told anyone, not even her best friend, who she tells everything to. And the secret comes to a head because, there's one person that knows the secret. And that person reaches out. And oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard. Okay. Let's just say there's a secret child. And the child, she gave up for adoption to her aunt, who has been raising her as her daughter. And the child gets sick. And thus, the aunt reaches out to her. This also prompts her to have to tell Bryant, the former love, that, oh, by the way, I kept this huge secret from you, and I hope you don't hate me. So, she didn't say it as blasé as that, but yeah. Anyway, so that is the gist of the story. So the POVs will probably be Autumn, of course, Kyle, and Bryant. I may sprinkle Javon in there at a time or two. He doesn't actually make it through the whole book, but so he may sprinkle in there. So there might be a total of 4 POVs, but Javon's POV won't be in there very often. I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is going to be tricky, but I'm really excited to try, and going to enjoy the process, I hope. And this is also going to be my Camp NaNoWriMo project. It wasn't going to be. I was going to work on the outline for my Mackenzie Brown book 4. But I think that if I stop working on this now, if I don't continue and work through the revision process and keep going, I'm going to step away from it again and start something else, and I won't return to it, or it will be years again before I return to it. So this is to hold me accountable. You guys now know what I'm working on, and you know what the book is about. And also, because I can't really talk about this book in full detail in my regular writing vlogs, I do talk about it, but I always have to edit it out because of time. This way I can talk about this project only in this particular video series, and you get to learn about this project as I write it and revise it. Well, as I edit it and revise it, and then eventually seek out someone out there to beta read it. But that is a ways off. So yeah. that is what I'm going to be working on. I know I'm not giving a whole bunch to go on in this particular video, but this was kind of just to set up the future videos that will come along during this editing process. I have character sketches that'll probably need to be reworked also, because I'm discovering as well that I need to do a deeper dive into the characters. I didn't do as in-depth character sketches back then, so these will need to be fleshed out a little bit more. But I have my work cut out for me, and I need you guys to hold me accountable. So this is going to be interesting, fixing this, and I hope you enjoy seeing me pull my hair out along the way. So that's going to be it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos from me, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know in the comments, how intimidating is it for you to have to read back through your own work and know that it needs a lot of revision? Yeah, look forward to these editing videos until this book is finished editing and being revised. Whenever that'll be. Hopefully it won't take long. But I need you guys to hold me accountable, because I really would like to see this book see the light of day this year. It would be nice. It's a long shot, I know, but it would be really nice. So, as usual, if you would like to support me in any of my creative endeavors, such as my blog site, my magazine, my online store, and my Ko-fi page, all those links can be found in the description box below. Until next time, have a blessed day. Bye.